Salt Lake City packed to the nines today. Thank you all so much for coming out. Welcome to the UFC 291 press conference. As many of you know, it all goes down live on pay-per-view this Saturday from Delta Center. UFC 291, Poirier versus Gaethje 2. And before we do get started, on behalf of the UFC, I would like to give a huge thank you to the Utah Sports Commission and the Smith Entertainment Group for all of their support and hard work to make this incredible event a reality. All right, who has the first question? John Morgan.
Start with Dustin Poirier, please.
Let's go.
Dustin, I know you've had tremendous success in rematches throughout your career, so I'm just wondering what you attribute that to. Why have you been so successful the second time you get in there with guys?
It depends how close together they are, you know? We fought 5 years ago. Me and my team, this whole camp, we went about this like it was a new fight. We watched the first fight between me and him when I first got to camp, and I haven't seen it since. You know, this is a new fight.
That said, how much of a mental edge do you think you have, right? Because, I mean, you've been in there once before, and you were the guy that got your hand raised. So how much of a mental edge does that provide for you?
It's not like I'm using that as momentum. I'm using my career as momentum. My last fights, the growth, my confidence, my mindset, all of that, that's what's driving me forward, not that fight. Like I said, this is a new fight. If we didn't get better in 5 years, we wasted 5 years of our lives.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Justin, I want to ask you as well. I mean, you were in there with him. Obviously, he's been around for a long time. There's a ton of tape on him. But what was the biggest surprise for you in that first fight? Maybe something you didn't expect or something you learned about Dustin Poirier that night?
Yeah, I would say his resilience. You know, I landed some big shots, did some damage to his leg, and never once did I feel like he was going to quit or give in. And, you know, he's a dog, and I love these fights. I've been wrestling my whole life. I've lost a few times, and every time I got back in there and tried my hardest, just like I do. So I'm a competitor. I love competition, and I'm here to fight.
And just lastly for me, Justin, as well, you know, a lot of people point to you being as a more technical fighter at this point, but I guess from your point of view, what is the biggest difference about you 5 years ago versus what you'll bring on Saturday night?
Yeah, I would say age, you know. I grew up, a lot of he was my third fight in the UFC. You know, a fight is a fight, but, you know, being in that arena, look at all these people here right now. Like, this is crazy. This is awesome. It's a whole different ballgame, you know, staying in control of your emotions, not getting caught up in the lights and the crowd and the noise. All of that, you know, doesn't need to be a factor when I get in there. And I used to try to thrive off of that, but, you know, I really try to keep calm, stay focused, and, you know, ultimately it's being patient. I cause damage every time I hit somebody, so I got to wait for that right shot.
Questions for Jan Blachowicz in the back right here. Nice hat, by the way. Obviously,
Thank you.
In the past, you've been the one the UFC has turned to welcome these middleweights to the light heavyweight division, like Luke Rockhold, Jacare, and Israel. So I'm curious, when you see Alex and what he brings to the table, is there anything different from your past middleweights that you fought at the light heavyweight division?
I don't know. I will tell you, you know, after the fight, you know. He's bigger than the others. Maybe this is one different, but we will see inside the octagon what's going to happen.
Questions for Alex. When you see Jan's past fight, he's obviously had a lot of success against middleweights coming up. You obviously, like he said, are bigger than them. So I'm curious, what do you see from Jan's game that maybe other middleweights haven't been able to take advantage of?
Pergunta para o Alex. Ele, como eu já mencionei, já recepcionou muitos médios vindo para o meio pesado. Que diferença? Ele falou, você é um cara maior do que ele está acostumado. O que você vê de diferença que você pode tirar sendo um cara maior e chegando e sendo recepcionado por ele?
Bom, acho que essa parada de recepcionar, né, o peso médio e fazer voltar, eu acho que algumas pessoas acreditam em superstição, mas eu não acredito. Da mesma forma também que, às vezes, quando ele foi nocauteado, foi cruzado de esquerda. E eu nocauteio todo mundo com cruzado de esquerda. Se ele pensar nisso, pô, ele não vai ter um bom desempenho, né? Ele tem que esquecer tudo isso e, pô, focar só no sábado.
This thing about welcoming the middleweights to the division. I mean, I don't believe in superstition. I don't believe he should believe in superstition as well. Just like every time he got knocked out, it was with a left cross. Every time I knock anybody out, it's with a left cross. If you think about it, you're not going to fight. So let's focus on Saturday. That's what you need to focus on.
One more for both Jan and Alex. Jan, I'll start with you. Obviously, Jamal Hill has vacated the belt, so I'm curious, do you view this as the #1 contender fight for a possible fight for a vacant title?
Of course, after Saturday, I'm going to be next fighter for the title shot. I believe in that.
Same questions for Alex.
Pergunta novamente, depois da lesão contra o Jamal Hill, imagina-se que o vencedor dessa luta lute pelo cinturão. É isso que espera também?
Com certeza, né? Tá tudo certo já. Porra, quero fazer essa luta, meu foco é essa luta. E mais, com certeza, vamos para a próxima, ganhando essa ao cinturão.
Surely the focus, I mean, everything's pretty much, the writing's on the wall. Obviously, my focus is on this fight, but winning this fight, let's go for the championship.
It's a question for Bobby Green. Bobby, a lot of people are talking about how unusual Tony is when he fights, but you're pretty unique in there yourself. Do you think people are overlooking how unorthodox you fight?
Man, so all I want to say is, it's going to be the shit. It's going to be the shit. I can't tell you how everything's going to go, but it's going down. That's all I can tell you.
Yesterday at the media day, Tony said that you texted him on Father's Day and he didn't really appreciate it. And then at the hotel, he ran into you and you kind of had a different energy and even looked like you saw death. Can you give us your version of that run-in?
I know. I don't know what's wrong with him. He was right. He said this. He said, I was confused. Because why? I didn't even know I had him in my phone. So I see him in my phone, and I'm like, El Kukui. Oh, okay. I said, let me see if it's really him. I'm like, hey, is this El Kukui? He's like, Happy Father's Day. I'm like, is this your opponent? You sure you know it's me? And it's like, he didn't say nothing after that. So I said, Happy Father's Day to you too. So I don't know what he's talking about, confusion or fear. He said he saw fear in my eyes. You better look again.
And for you, Tony, you faced the best of the best at lightweight. Bobby's been around for a while. How do you view his skills in comparison to some of the other men you fought?
He's a great fighter. He's the one that signed on the dotted line. We have a fight here at UFC 291. You guys are in for a fight. I have not much to say, man. I'm not here to fucking entertain. I'm here to fight.
He said you should look again. I just want to clarify, you do believe you saw fear in his eyes yesterday?
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here. You're blind. That's your problem now. You need to take them goddamn sunglasses off before you trip over a cord.
Oh, Bobby, you're gonna get it.
For Michael Chiesa. Mike, I know you said yesterday it doesn't really feel like you've been gone that long and you're right at home, but being up here, having this energy of the press conference, does it bring up any extra nerves or anything?
No, it doesn't bring up extra nerves. I'm just excited to be a part of the events. I love being on big cards. I've been doing this a long time. I feel like the bigger the stage, the brighter the lights, the better I perform. I got a game opponent. I got a great crowd. I'm excited to put on a show in Salt Lake City.
And for Kevin Holland, Kevin, you told us yesterday you were going to wear your BMF ring to the press conference here. Were you able to get it on? It's hard to see.
Of course.
And what do you just think of welcoming Mike back? He's obviously been gone for a while. Are you expecting any evolution from him, a different fighter than what you've seen in the past?
Yeah, I think Mike should have a little bit better striking. He's been sitting down for a long time, but I'm just curious to see if he can make it through the weight cut with that bad back.
Shouldn't be hard.
And for Alex Pereira, you've obviously been fighting at 185, where the night before the weight cut, making weight tomorrow morning. How different do you feel right now compared to cutting down to 185?
Pergunta para o Alex, você estava acostumado a lutar 175 e agora as coisas são diferentes. A noite anterior à luta, o quão diferente você se sente a lutar em 205?
Bom, vai ser uma luta diferente, mas os meus treinos são o mesmo, né? Pô, treinando com o Glover Teixeira, pô, um cara pesado, experiente, né? Pô, quem melhor do que o Glover Teixeira para me treinar? Então acho que estou fazendo a coisa certa, né? E como eu falo, sábado vai ser um grande dia.
I mean, everything all right. For me to fight, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the training. I mean, I'm training with Glover Teixeira. What better guy to get me prepared for this than fighting with Glover Teixeira? As I said, Saturday, it's going to be a great day.
And for Dustin and Justin, a lot of talk about the BMF title. It's finally sitting there just a couple feet in front of you. Does that bring any more excitement, or would you just think now that you've had an in-person look, Justin, you can start?
I still can't see it, but I've seen it on TV, and it's beautiful. It's going to look great on the wall. This does a lot for our legacy. We all dream of creating a legacy that will live on forever. So this is part of that. This is a huge statement.
Yeah. That's what it is. This is a legacy fight. And we have one of these sitting in my gym, and this one's going right next to it, man.
And just one more for you, Dustin. I know around all your fights, you like to put a charity goal with the Good Fight Foundation. Can you just tell us a little about what you're doing with this fight?
Yeah, I fly home Monday. 2 days after that, on Wednesday in Lafayette, Louisiana, we have our annual backpack and school drive pickup. So families in need, we'll be handing out food, backpacks filled with school supplies for the year. Me and the Good Fight Foundation. And this is the first time I wasn't home. I was in training camp during the process of breaking down all the school supplies and packing the backpacks. And I know that takes days and days to do because I've done it a few times. And I just want to thank to everyone who lended their time and sweat in that warehouse and packed those backpacks for all the kids. Thank you.
Question for Dustin Poirier over here. You said yesterday at the media day, you said after the first fight with Justin Gaethje, you guys were sitting together at a pay-per-view, and you said to him, hey man, I don't know if I want to do that again. Can you just go through the mindset? Like what goes through your mind when you're like, you know what, I'm going to flip that switch, and I'm going to tell myself, hey, I want to take this fight again, let's go do that.
Yeah, when I was sitting by him and I said that, the fight hadn't been offered. I didn't think that was the next fight or that was going to happen. And when my phone rang and they said, it's Justin, I felt those butterflies and I said, we got to do it, you know? That's what that was.
And question actually for John Anik. You've been able to kind of host a lot of big pay-per-views. It was, you know, I got kind of hyped up when you were at the Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards one. I want to get your thoughts on this card and kind of hype it up in the fashion that only, you know, John Anik can do.
Well, thank you. If you were to go through this entire roster and try to find the two baddest motherfuckers out there, right? I'm not sure you wouldn't settle on these two guys, right? And that says nothing about the rest of the depth on the card. Look at all the talent we have up here. Alex Pereira moving up, taking on the former champion. We're absolutely loaded. And as many of you know, you were here for Leon Edwards' mastery a year ago. We're excited to be back.
Potan, a gente viu uma recente amizade improvável sua com o Sean Strickland, vocês lutaram antes. E me fala um pouco mais sobre essa amizade. Ele chegou a te ajudar para esse treino específico? Que tipo de ajuda que ele te deu para enfrentar o Ian? E você pretende treinar mais com ele no futuro? A gente pode até ver, de repente, você ajudando ele, caso ele lute com o Adesanya?
Alex, recently we've seen an improbable friendship between you and Sean Strickland. Tell me about a little bit more this whole training with him. Is it going to continue? And could we see you maybe helping him as he fights Israel? I don't know.
A gente tem contato, né, de treino, né? Igual da última vez que eu fui lutar com a Adesanya, eu fiz um convite para o Sean Strickland e ele falou que iria na minha academia, mas aí estava muito corrido, então ele não conseguiu ir. Mas depois, essa próxima luta dele, ele me contactou e falou, pô, teria interesse e tal. Pô, a gente chegou, treinamos junto, foi um treinão, né? Um cara, pô, bacana. E é isso, né? Rolando essa luta dele aí agora, a gente já conversou algumas coisas e, pô, provavelmente ele vai lá para academia para estar treinando junto.
This is a guy that actually, I did invite him. I did call him up before fighting Adesanya. He couldn't, but eventually he was able to. Actually, this past fight, ever since, after his last fight, he contacted me, came into the gym. We had a banging session. We had a great workout, and I think we're going to do this again. And I think he's going to come down to the gym, and in the future, we're going to continue to train.
Michel, você é um dos lutadores favoritos dos fãs, você é um atleta muito empolgante no octógono. Há quem diga, há quem critique, inclusive aponte que esse seu estilo, de repente, você cometa algum erro que você não deveria, ou talvez você se canse mais do que deveria. Qual é o seu objetivo? Você tem o objetivo de ser o lutador favorito dos fãs, o lutador mais empolgante? E se sim, se de repente está disposto a pagar o preço, caso seja um preço cometer algum erro ou cansar demais?
For Michelle, you are a fan favorite, an exciting fighter, unorthodox. You bring the show to the octagon. Even sometimes you're running some risks. Is that what you want? You want to be a fan favorite, somebody that is known for exciting fights, even though you can maybe pay the price?
É como eu sempre falo, eu sempre venho para lutar para os fãs. Não gosto de fazer luta chata. Venho para ganhar, mas também venho para dar show para os fãs, porque eles merecem. Ter uma ótima luta, ver uma ótima luta, porque eles pagam caro por um ingresso, e chegar e ficar vendo luta chata, ninguém gosta. Então, eu sempre gosto de dar show para os fãs.
I've always said I come here, I fight for the fans. They deserve it. No one wants to watch a boring fight. You come here, you pay your tickets. I fight for you. No one wants to come here and watch that. It's for you. You deserve it.
Questions for both Dustin and Justin. I know this fight is about legacy, but both you guys have been the interim champion in the lightweight division. Would holding the BMF strap have more significance to you than that interim lightweight title?
No, I don't think so. It's great part of history. It's great for my legacy. It's cool to even have your name in the hat to be considered to fight for something like this. Not any man can wear this belt, but the undisputed title is the ultimate prize. And the interim belt was a piece of that. It was a step away from being the undisputed world champion, and that's the ultimate goal.
Same thing. This is awesome, but other than legacy, it doesn't do nothing as near as much as a world championship belt. I think this catapults either one of us, the winner of this fight, into that fight, and that's all that means right there.
Question for Wonder Boy. I have to ask you, this is the second time we got the BMF belt. When are they going to get the NMF belt? You'd be right there, right for that belt.
Now you're talking. We need to have an NMF title belt. I mean, I don't know what's going on. But no, these guys are awesome, bro. I mean, I'm up here with the baddest dudes in the world and have the nicest guy out here with them. I mean, you can't ask for more. So I appreciate everybody coming out and all the fans out there. It's going to be awesome, action-packed. I can't wait for you guys to tune in and watch.
And final question for John Anik. Just touch on this. It was nearly a year ago. You had the most iconic call to date. What is the significance of the Delta Center for you and your career, and how do you replicate that Saturday evening?
Well, thank you, buddy. We're glad it's the Delta Center again, right? They keep changing the name on this building, but those of us that grew up watching John Stockton and Karl Malone, we're excited to call this live event in the Delta Center. I understand there's a shrine for Leon Edwards that's been established, so we're excited to check that out, but dude, there's nothing like a UFC pay-per-view, right? There's the Super Bowl, and then our 14 pay-per-views of the year, and a couple more sleep, Schmo.
My question is for King Green. You said yesterday that one of your goals was to win over the Utah crowd. How do you plan on doing that?
Man, I used to train here a few years ago, back when I was in Strikeforce. So Utah's given me so much. They've given me, being around the people, all the love I've gotten, all the people I've gotten to train with here. I'm actually this is my second home away from home, so I love Utah. Thank you so much for having me.
My second question is for Tony. Tony, for most of your career, you were the BMF, so do you need to be fighting for that title one day?
No, fuck no, dude. I fight for the real title. I got 5 fights in the title. Bobby's the first step right here this week. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna finish in my fucking style. So thank you very much.
All right, folks, I think that is it. Last call, that's gonna do it. We are gonna have Mick Maynard up here and stare these athletes down, but before we do that, I wanna show you this, a closer look at Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier in advance of Saturday night.